So here we are.
Bernie, welcome.
Sure. Thank you
It's
for
good. It's good to have you, my man.
thanks for putting this together. This is it's a nice space. It feels bubble copper.
Thank you, my brother. Shout out to Old Mountain Studios.
Sure. I think Old Mountain, thank you for the warm reception. Thank you for making us feel welcome. Thank you for customizing this to the feel of bubble copper. This is a really premium spot. If anybody is in Cape Town and is in need of a facility like this for podcasting, to just a place that is premium, feels
Yeah.
premium, looks premium, Old Mountain Studios, highly accessible. We give it our
Yeah.
highest recommendation.
No doubt. No doubt. Um, Thank you for flying in, especially
Yes.
from Amsterdam.
Yes.
For this specifically.
No doubt.
We go way back like a Cadillac on four flats. But for me it was like we always have these most amazing phone calls, and you and
Yeah.
I can talk for
I
hours,
know, my
man.
man.
We can talk about every and anything. So for me it was more just about like actually getting something recorded,
Yeah.
because there are some gems. This man has been dropping gems, and the stories
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
wild, my man. Too
I'm
wild.
I'm glad you've been feeling it. And I must tell you also my sentiment with those phone calls. There's we always end of those phone calls by saying, I know we can keep talking for hours, but we gotta end this call, my man.
Yeah.
We gotta end this call.
You
And
know?
I like the idea to try to capture one of those conversations. And just see what sort of comes from it. So I'm glad we've got this moment. And I'm keen to just share a few more of these stories and
No
how it
doubt,
how it
no doubt,
how
no
it comes
doubt.
about, man.
I mean, this is the very first episode of I guess you can call it a new series. And for me, I wanted to share the stories of, the Bubble Copper community, Nike stories, authentic stories told by authentic people.
Mm.
And you're an incredibly passionate
Sure, man.
person when it comes to this Nike game. I
No,
mean,
preach, man.
it takes one to know one. We're a little bit nuts.
Yeah, yeah,
But let's dive a little bit deeper,
yeah.
Bernie. And let's go back to the origins of, you know, how was your early Nike, like
Yeah.
what happened there?
Where did it
Like,
kick off? For me, so I'm one of those cats who had an older brother, and my older brother was like, he was into sports, and he was like, he's a he's a karate guy, one of those kids
okay.
from karate. And he represented South Africa wherever he went, all over the world.
Yeah.
But you know what? When he went, my parents made sure that he had good kit, man. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes, yes, yes.
And I remember they went to, the first pair of Nikes that hit my home was when my parents went to Jack Lemke's to buy my brother a pair of, I wouldn't even know the name, but it was a pair of cross training shoes. Um,
What year?
it kind of feels like a tech challenge kind of vibe, man, that this
Okay,
lives in, but
okay,
it was
okay,
one of those more generic cross training shoes at the
okay,
time,
okay.
nothing iconic, but it lives in that tech challenge
Late
era,
late 80s, early 90s
early
vibes?
90s vibes, you
Okay,
know?
okay. Bo
And
Jackson vibes?
it lives in that Bo Jackson feel, but a
Okay,
low end cross trainer.
okay. Could you find a photo of this?
I wouldn't be able to.
Is
I
it
wouldn't.
too obscure now?
It's that's pre-internet, and it wasn't a hype
Yeah,
shoe,
okay. Yeah,
but
yeah.
it came home with the Nike branding on it. You know what I mean? And I was like, wow, this was hot. And that's the first time also the idea of Lemke's hit my agenda. That's where he bought it from.
Shout out to
Shout
Lemkus, of
out, because
course.
the Lemke's the Lemke's story will continue. You'll pick this up in the
And
story.
congrats to Lemkus for celebrating 90
90
years,
years.
and massive achievement. If you did not know, Lemkus is one of the oldest sneaker stores in the world. going since 1935,
Now,
and
giving love.
yeah, man, an institution, one of the most iconic sneaker
Now,
stores.
preach.
I mean, Africa, no doubt.
And for me, I mean, this being the first seed in that Lemke story, you will see as I share the story, I begin to encounter Lemkes more frequently
Yeah,
as time
yeah,
goes
yeah,
by.
yeah,
But this
yeah.
is where it started. And my at that time, my parents were still giving my brother what he needed, you know, to
Mm-mm-mm.
be that cat.
Mm.
And then one day, it's one of those times where my mom said, you know what, you need to get a job. I was still in high school, but get something out there,
Mm,
man.
mm.
I remember I went to Tiger Valley Center. I was looking at Milky Lane because I'm like going to the places I like, man, as a kid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Milky Lane, you know what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Y'all got,
Yeah.
I wanna eat some waffles and and do my
You
thing,
know the vibe. You know the vibe.
And no, they weren't giving me love. McDonald's just dropped in South Africa. I was trying, give me a,
I was
you
at
know,
I was at the opening, dog. Like
now that was at Tiger
1995
Valley
Tiger
Center.
Valley. They had that like blow up Ronald McDonald sitting on the roof.
I wanted a
How
piece of that.
I was there, dog.
I
That is 30
Yeah,
years
I
ago.
didn't get McDonald's love. And one day I'm at Tiger Valley, and a friend of mine used to work for Sneakers. I don't know if you can remember the Sneakers store.
I
He
remember it very well.
Warren. This was by the way, the last time I saw Warren. That means the last time I saw Warren
R.I.P.
was 30
Warren.
years. Warren, wherever you at, you don't know what that moment meant. I got Warren, and I said to him, hey, bro, can't you get me a job at Sneakers? He said, brah, I just resigned. Listen,
Take my job.
Justin, I ran to that shop. I ran in that shop. I said, Warren just told me he resigned. Can I get his job? Casual footwear salesman.
That they were in
This was Tiger Valley.
Tiger Valley.
So they were in Kenilworth.
In one city.
Now the
I
guy,
remember the in one
the
city one.
guy who owned the franchises I worked for, because it was a franchise, right? This is I can't. Now I feel embarrassed that I can't remember the bra's name. He's also subsequently passed. I think it was a Rian.
Okay.
Anyways, that name sounds wrong. But he owned Kenilworth,
Okay.
N1 City, Tiger Valley.
Yes.
Those were his three stores.
Yes.
And I got the job at Tiger Valley. And here's where it becomes important. They taught me how to sell shoes without selling shoes.
Okay.
At that shop, they told me you need to understand the context around the shoe. So don't sell the shoe, tell the story about the shoe, because
Yes.
you are giving people more than the product that they are buying.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I thought to myself, I was always like a very reluctant salesman. The idea of selling appalled me, man.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I
Yes.
was
Yes.
repelled by this notion. But what they did at Sneakers is they taught me something that stuck with me, man. Because to this day, I mean, my career is about sales. That is what I do. I
Yes.
sell now. That is everything that I've done is sales.
Yes.
But I've learned that it's not about the product. It is about the story that's around it. And that's what they taught me at Sneakers.
100%.
And after I left Sneakers, I mean, the journey just continued. I got a role with Addy opening up some retail stores.
Mhm.
I was the retail operations manager, and then because of that, I got a job at Nike, and that's my Nike journey started after Addy. Where I started selling apparel, like the clothing side of the business. And my first job at Nike, I was based in Cape Town, and I looked after Sportsman's Warehouse, their clothing division, Jack Lemkus, their clothing division, and all of Cape Town's independent stores. And that time there was a lot more independent. So these smaller guys, Obilio from Speed Trainer,
Yes. 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 Yes.
all of these
Athlete's foot.
Athlete's Foot. But yes, I worked with I think his name was Barry Selby that owned Athlete's Foot, but only on the apparel side. But they were more of a footwear driven piece.
That was yeah.
So yes, I was involved, but apparel was never the focus of that store. But I think every second season I was able to sell in over there. But Street Fever, everybody
But
based in Cape Town.
back in the day, everything was lit, bro. Edgar's was lit.
Edgar's was, and I'll later. So after that such situation, so even when I started, that's when Shelf Life had opened up their first store. based in Cape Town. And I mean,
Shout out to South of Life.
mad love to Nick.
Nick, what's up?
Wherever you at in the world right
London,
now.
London
Yes.
town. Jake, what's good?
And Dr. Zulu, those cats. Spending time just looking after the apparel side of the business. And that's kind of how it started without me realizing that I'd arrived at the time with retailers who were going to grow into very prominent spaces. I mean, they were already established, but at that time, looking back, those businesses have really entrenched themselves in the local market and have become
Yeah.
global forces to deal with,
yeah.
you know? So for me, that's where it started. The ability to tell the story, it never left me. And when I left Nike in about 2009, after I left them and I started in the video gaming industry, the idea of footwear never left me, man. It was a bit difficult to leave, but let me tell you something. My heart never left. And because my heart never left, that's where I started to say, but what can I do with all of these stories that I have? Because I've got so many stories that I want to tell, so many stories that I've heard, and I wanted to find an outlet to sort of begin telling these stories.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And coming out of that is how I then created this vlog called Soul Knowledge, and that's spelled SOLE, because of shoes, obviously.
We'll have the tag,
So
the handle.
I started Soul Knowledge, and there's a play on words because it's almost like it's my singular set of what I know. Soul. It is also my only point of knowledge. You know what I
Yes.
mean? This is how focused I am. I just want to talk about sneakers.
Yes.
And that's kind of where I began to find my community, man. You know, I found like-minded people because sometimes you feel like you're on your own in this journey.
You got an army.
You know?
You got a. I know when when we did a couple of collaborations recently where you created some really cool video content. Too many to name because we've done quite a bit. But you got like an army, dog, of like people commenting and like.
Look, there's some nice ass people.
You have supporters, dog.
There's some Soul Knowledge has got some really and shout out to the Soul Knowledge community, the cats who just keep giving love. I really do appreciate you all. I mean, there's some stalwart, proper people who
ride or dies there, bro.
Some ride or dies.
Yeah.
And the beauty of Soul Knowledge is that it is also so niche. It is just so niche. I'm not selling anything. I'm just talking about
dropping gems, as I said.
And as it stands right now, I mean, I've told Justin I've already worked on these 2 videos that I still have in the chamber. I don't know when this will be published, but
man, speak to the camera, man.
I've still got the RK61, the ARK61, a story that I did in Pata, Amsterdam.
Yes.
That I still have not yet released. That bullet is in the chamber.
Are we gonna do it?
There's another one that I have. Oh, I spoke about the question that was once asked to me about what was my favorite shoe that I can't get over, after wearing it so many times, is the that self-lacing Hyper Adapt 1.0. That story, the shoe that kind of laces itself. Those 2 episodes are in the chamber. I have not yet published.
The Earl.
The Earl.
The Earl.
Electro-adaptive reactive lacing. That's the acronym EARL.
Shout out Tinker, bro.
Tinker, Tiffany Beers, and what's the former CEO's name? Mark Parker.
Yes.
Those 3 cats worked on that shoe. I tell that story. So those 2 episodes I still have in the chamber, still to be published. Maybe by the time this release it's out, I don't know.
You got the first. You've got the first one.
Yes, that's.
I've got the second one. Shout out StockX, by the way.
I by the way, I like your StockX relationship. That I like what you got going there.
Yeah, man. We help each other out.
It's nice.
Let's just say that.
That's nice.
I haven't actually shot any content or anything. They're just chilling there, so that's something I need to get to.
Look. Quick side note and a plug. If anybody has a pair of self-lacing shoes, and watch that episode, I just want to say it doesn't get old. Putting on a pair of shoes and these shoes just lace themselves on your feet. I mean, for an 80s kid who loved that Back to the Future feel.
Back to the Future, dog. I mean, that's the colorway You know,
Yeah,
it'll
you
be
got
up
the
on the
Back to the
screen.
Future colorway. Yeah.
I have the Back to the Future colorway of the second Adapts. Crazy.
There's just nothing like it. So those 2 episodes in the chamber. While I'm in Cape Town, there is a story that I want to tell because I've got a pair of. Let me just think of the name of the shoe quickly. Um, it'll come to me in a second, but I'll tell you what it is. It looks like a pair of Converse, okay? But they actually they are Nike shoes, but they're meant for water. They're meant for full submersion. So they've got these drainage pods. Um, it's a camouflage looking shoe with uh, a, a a protective toe cap. But you put these shoes in they're called the soakers. The soakers. So you literally soak
Okay.
them in the water,
Okay.
and the upper is super fast drying. The midsole drains water through the sock liner. That's a story
But
that I want to tell in
Bernie,
Cape Town. It's a
just a side note, Bernie's always been into some really wild footwear. Um, I think you're wearing something pretty crazy today.
look. I have not yet told the stories of these cats. Though. Maybe I'll
Just
do.
just for reference, this is the type of stuff that Bernie wears.
So yeah, I prefer to stay into more sort of niche product. These shoes are called. Now, please, if anybody does speak Russian out there, please do not be offended because this is a Russian word. It's called the Zvezdoshkas, which is a translation for little star. The idea around the Zvezdoshkas, if I don't know if the camera is going to pick this up, but there's an M and an N over here. The designer is a guy by the name of Mark Newson. He's an architect who creates. This guy creates chairs, planes. I mean, a large range of design.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And his idea with this shoe was to create a shoe that would be appropriate for astronauts that they could wear in space, right?
That's wild.
So it doesn't contain any lacing and it just sticks on the foot. But it also is meant to represent the surface of the moon. So the upper is concaved, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the idea continues as you keep rotating it to the outsole, which is now convexed. So it still has that moon feel, but it is a 360 perspective. On the It does actually have a
It's a
sock,
booty, yeah.
like a booty on the inside, and this booty does have a zoom cushion in the rear.
Oh shit, that's
These
wild.
these shoes are 15 years old, I must say, and they are still treating me well. I've got a second pair, the white Zvezdoshkas. And by the way, the name Zvezdoshka is actually it's a name of a dog that went out to space. A Russian cosmonaut dog
For
that
real?
was put in space, right? And he's
I didn't
out
know that.
there. The cat's out there somewhere. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's why the name Little Star Zvezdoshka comes about. They gave tribute to this
Um,
dog.
but I didn't know that. So again, Bernie dropping gems.
So and this is typically what soul knowledge is about. I try to find the inspiration behind the shoes, telling these stories because that's kind of where the excitement lives.
Yeah.
Because now you understand how the designers thought about it, and it's not just shoes on your feet. That's been the message that I'm trying to say. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes when I see people walking in the street, I stop them and I'm like, listen, the shoes that you're wearing, can I tell you
Mm.
can I tell you a
Yeah.
story?
Yeah.
So I call myself the sneaker evangelist, right?
Preaching the word.
If you see exactly, if you see my name out there, I say Bernie Wicomb, sneaker evangelist, and I use that term evangelist because these evangelists, they've got a message, man,
Yeah.
that burns in their hearts, that
Yes. Yes.
they want to tell that story. The message is so important to them that everybody needs to hear it. So even if I'm standing in the streets and I see people who are wearing a shoe that I know that story and I know that's a hot story,
Yeah. Yeah.
and chances are cats don't know the story behind the shoes that they're
Nah,
wearing, man. Do you know what I mean?
some people don't know, man.
And I promise you, cats might be close to throwing those shoes away at the end of the last breath. And when I tell that story, that there's a resurrection of the idea of that shoe in their hearts, man. You know what
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And that's for me what it's about, man. Do you know what I mean?
Ah, that's crazy, bro. Like, I am wearing
Come on.
the Air Force One Evo. Pretty wild shoe. I'm a huge Air Force One fan. And when I saw that they came with the bubbled out,
This is you,
sole.
my man. This is you.
It's basically combining two things that I love.
That's
I
you.
am such a big Air Force One low fan, like huge, and obviously the Air Max. So this was a
That's the, so this shoe is a perfect like
yeah. I
personification of
just
you.
thought
Yeah.
I have three favorite shoes, Bernie.
Hit me.
The one is the Air Force One low.
Yeah.
The other is the Total Max Up Tempo.
That's you. Yeah.
Of
That's
course,
the bubble copper shoe.
most
Yeah.
people know. Neon in color,
Neon black.
and then it's the Flu Game 12, the Jordan. Those are my three favorite shoes of all time. All time.
Flu Game 12s. So when I was working at sneakers, okay, I was only beginning to understand sort of the basics of footwear, how it was working. I was sort of like uh
Yeah, man, put your shoes on, man.
I was sorry, man. I was an acorn, man, back in that day. Before I became a oak tree. You understand me? And this kid, well, not this kid, this guy walked into the store with, at the time, those were new shoes, the flu game 12s, black, the braid colorway is what he walked in with. And I remember asking him, what are those? What? So now you understand where I'm at in my youth of
You
sneakers.
a few
So
ye-
my
you're
timing.
a few years older than me, eh?
Yes, I would
Yes.
imagine that.
So I remember being a kid. I was about 11 years old, and I saw the Flu Game 12 on a matriculant,
Oh,
and I remember just like, whoa, like that was a massive, there was nothing, like I've never seen anything cooler in
that
terms of
was.
a Jordan, because it had this like, you've never seen a shoe like that before. You kind of never have since either.
But in the 90s, it was the baggy clothing, okay? And
Yeah.
when people wore them, if you think of the 12s, the only branding that exists on it, like the is actually on the tongue. That's where you see the big outward branding.
Mm.
But that would have been covered by your baggy
Yeah.
jeans. So when and that moment when this guy walked into the store at sneakers wearing them, I was like, because sneakers didn't get that shoe.
Mm.
We weren't part of Jordan distribution. I was like, what is that? You know, I didn't know what it was, but I knew it was special, man.
It's that futuristic,
You know?
like aesthetic, man.
And I asked him, where did you get the shoe? And he said to me,
Yeah.
Lemkas. And
The original.
you know what I
The
mean?
original.
And I remember I left sneakers to go to visit Lemkas, and I saw them, and I'm like, this is what that guy's talking about. And I must tell you, years later, after I began working for Nike and I began to understand, okay, this is where the 12s fall in. One day I had a random serendipitous meetup with the same guy, that customer. I got him in
Mm.
Canal Walk, and I just stopped him, and because I saw that very guy,
Yeah, yeah.
I remember him so clearly, and I said to him, "Listen, you might not remember me, but I used to sell sneakers in that shop, and you once came in with the Jordan 12s, the Flu Game shoes." I said, "You don't understand what that moment meant to me, because you got me on a rabbit hole so deep." And I just had to, when I saw him, I had to shout out to him by saying, I did not know what I saw then, but that thing that you wore started something in me. And no, my man,
Dog, like
that shoe, I feel it. I
that
feel it.
that matriculant, right? That I saw wearing the Flu Game for the first time. I found him on Facebook,
Sure.
right? Dude's name is Hugo, but
I,
he was like a Mozambican dude who was like a border.
okay, okay.
So like I reached out to him and I was like, yo, talking about the story. And he was like, what?
Yeah,
Like, it's not the same for everybody.
it's not.
But in my journey, that was like
My
wow.
man, I understand that.
Jump man on the side.
Mm,
Shit's mad
yeah,
futuristic.
yeah.
That was Jordan.
So for those of you that don't know a little bit
Pinnacle.
about in terms of the origins of that one, the Jordan 12, the inspiration of it is also the Japanese, the imperial flag. So if you think of the Japanese the normal Japanese flag is the white background, red dot,
Yes,
right?
the rising sun.
But the rising sun, the imperial flag, has got the sun
The
rays
rays, the
on it.
rays, yes.
And it is those rays.
Yes.
When you look at the 12s, you will begin to see that
Yes,
coming
yes,
through.
yes, yes.
You know, but that was only knowledge that we picked up later
For sure.
as the story.
Also
went in deeper.
inspired by a woman's dress shoe, I believe. I think it was like early 1900s or the late 1800s. I forgot now what it is, but yeah, just a wild shoe, man.
No, it's beauty. No, please. You felt like you wanted to holler something?
Yeah, no, I just I know you're a very interesting guy, and you've met some incredible people,
Sure.
like people I dream of meeting.
No.
I think a lot of people dream of meeting the people that you've met.
You know what? And I must say, very true. But I was always in the right place at the right time. This is not all of these meetings. It's almost as if at some point in time I am just attracted to just meeting people of influence, man.
You
And by
lucky.
no, I don't want to use the word lucky, but
Man,
I'm a blessed cat.
This dude has got pictures with everybody.
My man, timing.
Hip hop stars,
Okay.
icons, legends.
Okay, let me holler. Let me give you
Run
a
him back,
couple.
run
Let me
him
give
back,
you a
run him
couple.
back, run him
But
back.
I think the first and the biggest, I mean,
The biggest,
the biggest one. Firstly, the biggest is Michael Jackson. Okay, this was when he was in South Africa. This was when Mike was in South Africa for the history tour, and man, I don't know what else. When was he here? What was it? 97?
97.
Yeah. 97, and at that time I worked for the cross trainer, which doesn't exist anymore right now.
Oh
But
man, icon.
I worked, and I mean, there's a hell of a lot of cross trainer stories at my time with him, but I'll holler that a bit later. But cross trainer had a store in the V&A, the waterfront, and I worked for their Tiger Valley store. And I had heard that Michael was seen looking through the windows of our cross trainer store the day before, and I got a call back in Tiger Valley saying, "Imagine what happens. What if Michael?
Yeah.
Although we looked through the windows yesterday, what
Yeah.
if he would come and visit the store the next day?"
Yeah.
And I said to my brother, who's also a huge Michael Jackson fan, I mean, huge Mike fans, I just said, let's just take a chance. And we drove through after hours, and I'm in the shop, and I'm talking to my colleagues, who obviously in the other branch, and telling them, "Yo, is it true? Cat saw Mike and all that." And I'm like, yeah. They said, "No, he was here, player." And all of a sudden, I'm in the stockroom talking to a friend, and one of my colleagues opens up the stockroom door and he says, "Bernie, your guy is here." My man.
Wild.
Now this is kind of, the stores close at 9 o'clock in the evening, right?
Yes.
This was just past 8. It was close to closing. And he had lived in the hotel that was connected
Table Bay.
Right. He
Yeah,
lived in Table
yeah,
Bay,
yeah.
connected to the mall. So he had time to sort of after hours.
Yeah.
My man. The mall was quiet up until that point. Now all of a sudden, the store's about the size of the studio. Okay.
Yeah.
Which was a small. I mean, this is a big studio, but for retail,
Yes,
it's a small
yes,
space.
yes.
You know what I
yes,
mean?
yes.
I can't believe it. Now check this out. Michael, now, and by the way, now the doors are closed. There's an ocean of people outside. I don't know where their asses came from. It's 8 o'clock at night. Your asses should be home.
Yeah.
Everybody is on the outside of the store. I'm on the inside with my brother, and I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. So Michael is there with 3 other cats. Okay, the first cat is the manager of the hotel. Is literally the manager of the hotel.
Okay.
Is
with him.
with Jackson.
Okay.
To make sure, Mr. Jackson's fine.
Yeah.
You want to have his reputation
For sure.
sullied by
Yeah.
He's with 2 other. Now I'm going to tell you, they were younger boys. Okay, I'm not gonna. Michael was rolling. These were some teens that he was rolling with, man.
No comment.
No,
bro.
no. Listen, let me just holler.
No
I'm gonna
comment.
give you the truth of what I saw. Now,
Okay.
guys, they are all now. Mike and these two youngsters, they're all wearing the same jacket. It's like this embellished jacket that says "Filthy Tabloid Press" with this big thick red line through it. You know what I mean? Filthy Tabloid Press.
Yo,
that's the jacket they're rocking.
Like
okay?
middle finger to the.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they, that's how they're rolling. plus the kids that's with it. They just like sneakers, bro. They're pulling kicks, more kicks.
Yeah.
And I'm watching and I'm like, y'all spending some Jackson paper
Yeah, it's a big
on
money.
sneakers.
Big
Best
money.
believe. My man, these cats are racking it up. The shop's closed.
That was like the height. It's like probably like one of the height of his fame. Like
Now, my man, the history tour.
it was huge. It was massive.
Yes, and at the time, I think they did live in Bucharest. That was the one that was filmed on that. I wish.
Yeah, my sister knows that concert very well.
Was she at Bucharest for that?
No, she used to come home every day and play the videotape over and over. Because
Plus, now that concert when that one went down, just by that was the first time I saw Nelson Mandela, because when we were there,
yeah,
Nelson Mandela was also at the concert, because when he pushed up, there was, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes,
please stand
yes.
for Nelson. Man, we gave Nelson mad love. He pulled it over there.
Yes.
Plus, I saw your boy Joe Jackson in the place as well.
Oh, shit.
I was like right up front. I'm talking like Earth Song. It was amazing. So, anyways, I am in the shop with Mike. These cats, my man. I promise you, if somebody had told me the story, I would not believe it. This part of the story. But you please believe me that this is real. This is the realest thing I've ever seen. Remember, I told you the front doors were closed. This kid is allowed into my man, this kid is probably 7, 8 years old, this youngster. I don't know how he gets greenlit to walk in the shop.
They were
Do you
like,
understand? They were like, this
"Yo,
lighty.
come in."
And I'm standing there watching this whole thing go down before me. I'm talking front row seat to this normal.
Okay.
This lighty comes up to Mike, and Mike gets on the one, he meets the lighty eye level. He meets him eye level. And this kid says to him, "Are you Michael Jackson?" And Mike says to him, "Yes, I am." Gives the kid a hug, and the boy disappears into the sunset. Do you know what I mean? And the story continues. And I'm like, what type of random issue was that?
Yeah.
But like, what kind of moment was this?
Yeah.
Now I can see that the transaction's about to be wrapped up, and I'm so in awe with Mike, and I'm like, you know what? I need to holler at this cat, man. You know what I mean?
So you spoke to Mike.
So then I stepped to Mike. You know what I mean? No, hold on. Before I step to Mike, Mike steps to me. Listen, I'm standing there, my man. He says to me, "Excuse me, is there a bathroom here?" Looks at me. Okay, my man. I understand the idea of starstruck, because I couldn't
talk.
respond to this.
Yeah.
I couldn't respond, bro. I was like, I went dummy. I went full dummy on him. You know what I mean? Somebody else had to answer on my behalf. No. There's no bathroom in the shop. And I felt like, dude, I just screwed that up so bad.
You like wanted to make
I
one
was like,
appear
what
out
did
of
what did I
Cincinnati.
do? And so, but I could see the transaction being wound up, and I'm like, I want to holler at Mike. He hollered at me. I didn't even say anything to him. And when I stepped to him, and that was the beauty. There was space. There was not crowded. I said to Mike, and listen, I have mad respect for Mike, and I called him Mr. Jackson. You know what I mean?
Of course.
I don't want to be too familiar, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yo.
And I wish I could have said something more profound, but I just, shook his hand and I said, "Mr. Jackson, I've really always been a fan, and I've admired your work, and it's just a pleasure meeting you." And he was just like, "Thanks," and
Chill.
just my man, huge moment. Okay, that was Mike, right?
Who else we got?
The most recent one. Let me actually just hit the most recent one. I was in London at the name of this retailer is not coming to. It'll come to me shortly.
Food Patrol.
No, it wasn't Food Patrol. It'll come to me just now. Big retail spot, high-end place. And my wife, my son, and I, the three of us are kicking it over there. And we decide to go to just the third floor of the spot, right? The name just jumped into my head and back out. But anyways, we're there, and there's this.
You're talking about size?
No, my man. It's Dover Street Market. I'm in the Dover Street Market, London. Damn. And
Just to cut you there, Bernie, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but this man is dropped out. He's wearing Keith. He's wearing Edwin jeans, Japanese salvage denim. The man's balling, let's be honest.
No blessings. So I'm in the Dover Street Market. There's this woman that's there, and she's been given love for her publishing of a cookbook, man. You know what I mean? She's got a cookbook out there. People are giving her mad love. And I'm also, as I'm walking past, I'm checking out. I'm like, all right, cool, man. You know, Auntie's got, mad love
Yeah,
for
yeah,
her
yeah.
cookbook. As I'm walking past, standing right there, just chilling, Pharrell Williams. Okay.
Okay.
He is just like me, a guy watching this situation
Mm,
going down, man.
mm.
So this was no planned situation. He was
Mm.
just there. And as I see him, he's wearing he's this Louis Vuitton bomber. This is the one of the new ones in his line. You can just imagine him with those. He's still wearing those skinny bell bottoms with this Louis jacket.
Mm.
And my wife, just a few weeks prior, she was at an Addy event in Los Angeles, and at the event, she saw Lionel Messi. She's a big fan of David Beckham, and she saw Pharrell Williams, who at the same time, when she showed me the pics, was wearing the same jacket. And
Mm.
when I saw Pharrell, I was like, "Yo," I wanted to like,
Yeah, yeah.
but I wanted to also just play cautious. You don't know how these cats are, man. But
Mm.
he had like his assistant with him, and his assistant said he saw me seeing Pharrell, and he said, "Listen, if you wanna holler at Mr. Williams, you can." But he kind of gave me like a tip, man. Like rather do a self. Ask him if he would be comfortable with a selfie. Don't let somebody take a picture for you. That was kind of like a bit of protocol, and I thought,
Okay,
okay,
okay, okay.
appreciate that. But then I got to speak to the man, and plus he was wearing that grill of his, man. This that's kind of where he was at. Yeah.
Nego-esque.
And I just said to him, I said, you know what, Pharrell, everything that you've done, I've loved. The fact that you're now taken over from Virgil at the Louis piece, even more love
Yeah,
to you.
yeah.
And I just said to him, you know what, my wife, she saw these three cats.
My wife.
She saw these three cats. But I said I was most excited that she crossed paths with you of all. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The Pharrell Williams piece was the one that got me
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
excited. Took a nice pic, but that was just like happenstance.
Yes, yes.
Another happenstance one, I was in Atlanta. I got Slick Rick. For any of you guys who are into hip hop, Slick,
Recently.
no, this was probably 2008, probably. When I was
That
in
new
Atlanta.
album that he
Um,
dropped recently.
Now, but you know what? It's nice to know that you met these cats and then they still deliver goods afterwards, man. Do you
Yana,
know what I mean?
that joint, the joint with Nas.
I actually haven't heard that track. No, I'll get them on my way home. I'm gonna listen to that. But the fact is, when
It's
you
called
meet these
it's called
cats,
Documents. I
documents,
think it's called Documents.
let's give it love. So Slick Rick, chance encounter at Atlanta, but that's just right place, right time. You know. Nas, I met Nas in LA. Okay.
Nasty
Nasty Nas himself. And now that we're talking about Slick Rick and you mentioned Nas, let's get on to Nas. So I used to work in the video gaming industry, and EA, Electronic Arts, had a show at E3. E3, for those of you who are into
Yes.
the video gaming story, I was at E3 that year, and
This way.
they had an event, and I knew Nas was going to be at the spot, and
Yes.
I made a specific plan to go and see Nas.
Yes, yes.
And I watched Nas's performance, obviously, and because this is not a hip hop crowd, it's a video gaming crowd.
Yes,
I
yes.
thought, you know what, I have an opportunity to meet this cat, man, and I stayed afterwards. And there was one of these guys that he had signed to his label. This is going to really upset me right now. Dave East is his name. Okay.
Yes, 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 yes.
Dave East was signed to Nas's label. And for those of you who had watched the Wu-Tang documentary, Dave East plays Method Man. Okay.
Yes.
So after the show went down, Dave East was standing outside, and I got an opportunity to meet Dave. Nice. Dave was proper.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah.
Yeah. He's nice.
Yeah.
And I said to Dave, you know what? Is there an opportunity to meet Nas? He says, you see that escalator over there? He points to it. He says, Nas is in that escalator
That
right
is
now.
crazy.
And I was like, all right, cool. And I walked to the escalator. I saw him in the back, knocked on the window, and I said, I'm being real forward now. You understand?
Yeah.
And I said, yo, hey, Nas, I just wanted to say hi. And, you could just see he was like, he's like,
Like,
wanted his private moment. So
yeah.
I just said to him through the window, I said, I just want to let you know, huge fan of your work. I've just changed my tickets to be in LA specifically for this moment to hear you perform. I really enjoyed it. Appreciate you. Then he taps on the shoulder of the driver, obviously saying to him, roll
Yeah.
the window
Yeah.
down, please.
Yeah.
And he rolls the window down and he says to me, appreciate you changing your ticket to coming to see the show. Really, thanks for the effort. Gives me a nice fist bump, and I'm like, nice.
You
Yeah.
first bump.
So that's a
Dog.
couple of examples of like random encounters, but through Nike, of course. I mean, my first ever sales meeting at Nike was full.
Yo, tell us about this one, please,
Listen,
in detail.
This is, I mean,
Come on, Bernie, in detail. We
my
need this.
first ever sales meeting at Nike. Now, for those of you who know about Nike's international sales meetings, I mean, it's probably not, everyone keeps saying it's not like that today, but when I was there at my first meeting, it was hella lit. I don't think anything can beat my first ever sales meeting.
What year was this?
I was selling spring 06, which was 2005, I think.
So 20 years.
Yeah, maybe 2005. Oh, just to confirm that when the year Full Knight, the founder of Nike, the year he retired. So I went to Full Knight's retirement party. Okay. My
Wild.
man. So this was the timing. Because many countries come to Nike's world headquarters to get the new seasonal view. They can't
Yes.
host every country every time.
Yeah.
So by the time the region I represented, which was CEMEA, Central Europe, Middle East, Africa, by the time we were leaving, the Asia Pacific cats were arriving.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because you're now rotating the regions.
Yeah.
So our last day, their first day. So everybody's together. Okay. Full Night's retirement party goes down. My man. So we had this basketball court somewhere in Portland, right? Now the venue is the size of like, imagine a high school basketball
But
court. So
this is now obviously at the world headquarters.
this is not at the World Court. The
Oh,
headquarters.
really?
It is outside of the World Headquarters, but
Okay.
in Portland. So I want you to imagine almost like a high school basketball arena. That's kind of the space that we're talking about.
Okay.
So it's intimate enough to get all the salespeople in there and, you know, all these cats.
Security must have been wild.
My man. And next to it is like a, let's call it a convention center.
Okay,
So
okay.
afterwards we had drinks and whatever else.
Yeah.
So Phil comes in, everybody. So before they present Phil, they bring out all of Nike's athletes. My man, this roster. I mean, you can try to imagine anybody who was part of the
It's
roster.
like the Avengers.
Like an Avengers. Yeah, I think that's. So they brought these cats up by category. So for basketball,
Let's name drop.
ja, you know, I don't want to name drop. Nelson Mandela told me to stop name dropping, so I'm not gonna name drop anymore. But Michael Jordan was in the house.
Sure. The GOAT.
The GOAT. Kobe Bryant. Well,
R.I.P.
Moses Malone.
R.I.P.
as well.
For those of you that don't know, Moses Malone was one of the athletes chosen, the basketball players, to kind of push the Air Force One in the
Correct.
early days.
Correct.
I have an original pair of Air Force Ones from 82, 83. That's white and red, just like the pair Moses Malone wore. Crazy.
Best believe.
Crazy.
And beyond this, the other names that and I wish, I need to actually see how much of this is actually on the internet, because this was at pre-influencer time.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But a couple of the other athletes who were there, Carl Lewis.
Okay.
for those of-
Olympian?
Yes, I mean, for those of you who don't know, then I don't know if you know the European pole vaulter Sergej Bubka.
I'm not familiar.
This guy, he's even got a building. I think he's got a building named after him at Nike's European headquarters. There's a Sergej Bubka.
Oh,
I
shit.
speak under
Okay.
prediction.
So
I
they do
have to
that there
check.
too.
Yeah, they do that there too. For example, they've got the Bill Bauman Center, which is also like there, you know, but similar vibes.
I mean, of course, if you've worked at Nike, you know these things.
And yes, then the skier, Peekaboo Street. At the time, Wayne Rooney was new on the scene.
Okay.
Now the current, I mean, he's Man U's coach. If he's still not, he's there. He's that cat. Ian Wright. What's that Frenchman? Eric Cantona. I mean,
Okay.
then you had certain cats who could not be there in person, but they gave a video message. It was Tiger Woods at the time, John McEnroe. The tennis player that I wanted to see, who was part of my generation, was Pete Sampras. Being
Yes,
able to see
yes.
Pete, that was amazing. And at this event, I mean, there were a lot of people to meet, but at that moment, I actually met Michael Jordan at Formula 1's
Wild.
retirement. That was
My
that
dream. That
that
is my
was.
dream.
I mean, having
I
Jordan meet.
I've been a Jordan fan
Mm,
since Bernie 4, 5 years old, man. I mean, like I grew up with the posters on the wall, the Chicago Bulls caps.
my man.
My dad took me to a Chicago Bulls game in 1994. We were living in America for a little
Sure.
while, but Jordan had retired. So I didn't get to see Jordan playing, with the Chicago Bulls. I got to see Pippen.
Mm,
I got to see, the rest of the gang. It was a game in New Jersey. It was the Chicago Bulls versus the New Jersey Nets.
come on.
Because now back in those days, it was the New Jersey Nets, not
Right.
the Brooklyn Nets.
Right. Right.
I still have a cap from that game. Like, I had I have a badge, I think, still. Just
That was pilgrimage for you, man.
bruh. And I wasn't supposed to go to that Chicago Bulls game. A family friend we were staying with in New Jersey, he got a ticket, I think, from work, and he was gonna take my dad. But then he said, "Nah, man, but Justin loves basketball." I mean, I'm like 8 years old or whatever. So myself and my dad went. It is like one of the greatest things
Moments
that
that just
happened
crystallized
in
in
my
your mind.
childhood. Like, I'm so grateful for that. Yes, Michael Jordan wasn't playing, but it was an experience.
That's his legacy period.
So
You know,
amazing.
it's moments like that that really stick with you. I mean, and I think maybe there's a lot of cats who might be listening to this outside of South Africa. You've got to understand, South Africa, we are a part of the world that does not pick up the cross breezes of popular culture, because people don't often come and visit here, man. It's not that kind of place, but we are very influenced by Western sport,
Yeah.
Western media.
Yeah.
So we understand what it is, but we never get the opportunities to sort of cross paths. And that's why moments like this, the stories that I'm telling, it's very unusual for our experience, to have
Yeah.
these encounters. And basketball is not even a big sport in South Africa, but I think it begins to let you understand how the idea.
Not now.
Yeah. Yes.
Back in the day, it was big.
But the power of a guy like Michael Jordan to transcend beyond
It was global.
the sporting codes that we are familiar with in the country lets you understand his impact. You know what I mean?
Massive.
And so you just got to meet Jordan that time, and I had a more intimate.
What
meeting.
did I need to know? What did you say to the man? Did you shake his
I
hand?
did shake Mike's hand, and it was just. I think I gave him a thank you. Just
thank you for your service.
Just thank you, sir. Like I don't know what else more I could say to this cat, man. Like just
but he was chill. He was like cool.
He was cool as ice, and he was wearing those beige, that beige suit
at Moses,
that big ass beige suit. That's what he was rocking. And I actually have a photo of that moment. You can add it to the
for sure,
as I was about to holler at him. But I had a more intimate moment. But this was the time where you weren't carrying cell phones with you, man. With Eric Cantona.
Yes.
And myself and Eric, this was where we were actually dancing together. I don't know if it was his wife or his girlfriend.
Yo, we
were cutting up the dance floor. That was so nice, man. And I must say, listen, I was hella forward, but as Phil, because now Phil enters the stage, people give him mad applause.
Yeah.
I wanted to highlight him afterwards, man. So as Phil was exiting, I was following him, and I was standing kind of behind him. If anybody has got any footage of this moment, I would love to actually see it. If anybody at Nike who was there, and you've got imagery, and you listened to this video, and you've got evidence of this, please share the video.
It must be.
Because I was walking behind him, and I tried to grab it. I actually grabbed him on his shoulder.
You grabbed Phil. Oh, Uncle Phil.
To say, yo, what's up, man? But he was in this mad rush of exiting.
Yeah.
And he was just focused on
So
moving
he didn't even
forward.
turn
He didn't
around.
even, I didn't think he felt it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Because you would see me, my hand pulling
sorry,
over the
Uncle
shoulder.
Phil.
You know,
You know,
Phil
would
was my father.
I would also a dream to meet him. What a legend, man!
And
What a legend.
outside of that, through Nike South Africa, the usuals. Casta Semenya, I got to run with Casta Semenya on a training session
Uh,
at one of Pretoria's fitness centers.
you lost though, eh?
Yeah. No, of course I lost them. You don't play with Casta player. Um, who else was there? Obviously, several meetings with Oscar Pistorius. I actually met him in Athens through Nike.
Okay.
Really, before the whole scandal went down, but really a proud moment to represent our athlete on a stage like Athens. That was special.
Yeah.
Um, and then through Soul Knowledge, I got the chance to meet AKA Rest in Peace.
R.I.P. AKA.
That was special.
I met his dad
Yeah,
a couple of weeks ago at like an engine,
yeah.
just like randomly. I just shook his hand and I was like, thank you, man. Like your son was a legend and like,
No, truth, my man. For South Africa,
super cool
especially.
guy. Sad, man.
No, it's the truth.
Sad. Yeah, we got a lot of trauma and
truth
kak
is
here
real.
in South Africa, man. But
But
that's wild.
look, I'm sure there's more, but that's me just spitting out a couple of names right now. Of Akani Simbini, the fastest African, also
Yes.
came through. He appeared on an episode of Soul Knowledge with me. What a legend! So it's just I'm in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And as you can, the couple of examples
Yeah.
that I've given you are beyond Nike. It's just right place, right
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Kind
Yeah.
of cat man.
You haven't met the Wu-Tang Clan, eh?
I've not met Wu Tang.
Okay.
Um, but it's not. Oh, I've seen them perform live in Berlin. By
Of
the way,
course you have.
I watched them. I
Of
watched them in
course.
Berlin.
Of course you
I
have.
was hoping to have cross paths with them. But maybe to pivot out of that, I mean, the beauty of my experience is that it is beyond the South African perspective. I've
Yeah.
lived for 4 years in Berlin, and got to understand sort of like the Berlin sneaker scene. Um,
Shout out to Iceberg.
Iceberg, the local lover.
You know what I'm saying?
Um,
AMX 90 King.
yeah, with cats like Iceberg and you know what? Cats like Iceberg and beyond, when you listen to people who are sneakerheads in Berlin, you understand that you are with your kind of people. Like the level of knowledge, the insight that those cats have is unquestionably the sharpest that I've seen in Europe are the Berlin cats. And shout out to places like Overkill. What an amazing retail spot.
Yeah.
And by the way, Overkill was the place I saw Shelf Life's Air Jordan 2. When I saw that, and shout out to the first ever Air Jordan collaboration in
Incredible.
Africa. Seeing
Beautiful.
that in Overkill for me was a really special moment. It like hit me hard, man. Do you understand what I mean? Having worked with Shelf Life and seeing their product in Berlin.
It was an absolutely beautiful, beautifully made collection, from the shoes to the shorts. They sent me like the full thing. Thank you again and shout out for putting South Africa on the map.
No, really special,
For
man.
putting Cape Town on the map, because Shelf Life is from Cape Town.
Best
And
believe.
it just shows you that things are possible, you know.
Yeah, and my appreciation for Shelf Life, that's giving Africa. I mean, it's beyond South Africa. That's
Yeah.
giving Africa a voice.
Yeah.
So mad love to them. But wait, hold on. Where was I right now? Oh, Overkill Civilist. If y'all can remember the SB.
Well, that
Um,
the cross was that the cross stitching one?
no,
Oh
this
no,
was the
am I
one that
tripping?
was heat sensitive. It was black, but then you heat it up.
Okay,
And
yes.
it changes
Now,
colors.
yeah.
Authentic cats, sneakers and stuff. Although not from Berlin, they had that was an amazing store in Berlin. Soulbox had a crazy store in Berlin. Like, Berlin sneaker culture is something special, and that 4 years spent was well spent. I've lived for the past, let's call it year and a half in Amsterdam, which is another trip. I mean, for them, yes, they've also got a soul box, but they've got Maha for the ladies. Maha in Amsterdam, if you're a lady and you're looking for the best kicks, that's That's like the experience that you want.
Yo, dog, are they paying you?
Cats on these cats aren't paying me. This is the passion that's
right?
flowing here.
Right, Bernie, a check.
What's that other spot? I bought my flight posits from them recently. Oaquium. There's some great sneaker stores, and I mean, I know I'm underselling it right now, but being in Amsterdam is a blessing, especially for South African, kind of reversing the situation. But great experiences, and I've through the lens of sneakers, I can tell you I have lived a very blessed life.
I just wanted to just something I forgot to talk about is how I met you.
Let's chop it up.
So I know Bernie from a group on Facebook called Sneakerhead South Africa. Shout out to Louis.
Yes.
I actually saw Louis at the Lemkes 90th anniversary
Nice.
thing the other day. He started this Facebook group.
Yes.
But now the funny thing is, Callan from Lemkes, shout out my boy Callan. He and I were gonna make this like a general sneaker page in the same week.
That Louis did his business.
Yes, but he did it first, and then we were like, nah, it's fine.
You can't bite
And then it just started getting traction. And yeah, I mean, you don't, it's become a bit of a toilet, but there was a period where there were people really watching, like industry people in the sneaker game.
Yeah.
They were watching that actual page, and people were commenting and things like that. So I guess it had its time. Facebook is not as big as it used to be. Bubble Koppe started on there as a Facebook group in 2011. Things just went over, and man, I saw a post about a Charles Barkley block-mounted poster board.
Now I remember. I actually didn't know where you were going, but now I remember.
Phoenix, I think it said Phoenix Rising.
Yeah.
And it's this beautiful image of Charles Barkley doing a dunk in that Air Force Max. It's like 93 or whatever. And the condition of this poster, this block-mounted poster, I was just like, yo, you posted it and you said something, and I was like, hey.
But this is you obsessed with that stuff. You obsessed with that
dog, I collect vintage Nike anything.
Right.
Anything. I've got Nike hangers from Europe from the 80s.
This cat, by the way, if you've not seen his spot yet, it looks like a 90s retail store. All of the fixtures, it's there. That's where Justin is at. Yeah. Justin lives in a 90s Nike time capsule.
I love it, man. I collect signs, posters. I've got chairs, benches, neon lights, point of sale, cabinet.
The whole situation, yeah.
Anything Nike I could get my hands on, I pretty much got my hands on it.
This cat's got some of his sneakers in a sunglass cabinet.
Yeah.
A display, his own display in the cabinet. No, it's out of control.
Hey, you're making me blush, dog. But essentially, I saw this and I was like, yo, I don't care who this is, but I'm reaching out. And it was you.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, dog, I need to get this, bro.
And so when Sneakers, the company that I worked for, liquidated, I took a lot of the posters because there was just posters and stuff.
So that specific poster was from Sneakers.
That was from
That's
Sneakers.
Wild.
Then I had after you saw that one, then I showed you the Jordan one. There was a Mike Jordan's.
Yes, you hooked me up with that too.
Yep.
It wasn't block mounted. It was like more like a cardboard thing. But still, I still have it. Good condition.
And you know what? As I left my parents' home, as I left right now, I saw this one poster. I need to unravel it because it's still there. It looked like a Nike rugby poster, right?
Okay.
But you came.
You gave me a Bafana poster.
Was it the Reebok one?
No, it was a Nike. It was a Nike.
Nike Bafana at that time.
It
Yo, I
was
don't
like a
even remember that.
Bafana, or it was like a Nike soccer poster. But it got a bit damaged, man, because yeah, there was a time when I had a dog in the room there, man.
Okay,
And then a
okay. I
dog
don't
just
actually,
ate the poster,
but
bitch.
that's the thing about so much goods at the time, and that's how we connected.
That's how we connected, man, authentically. And ever since then, maybe on a phone call, you'll slap a Bible verse there,
You know.
and we talk about crazy stuff.
No, it's been a good journey, and recently, I mean, we
What's
at
it like? What I know you like what, like
I don't know what I
10,
don't know what year that was. 2014 was it?
10 years, 11 years or so?
Yeah,
Something.
we
It's
we
already
we
that
around
long.
over there
Yeah, yeah.
now. Um, and recently, I mean, I just want to use this as a platform to say thank you because I've been collaborating with Bubble Copper with my past couple of posts this year, and it's been fun to see that relationship evolve.
Always, brother.
Being part of the Bubble Copper community, that voice, and just being able to share my content to a wider audience. And I know that the content is highly relevant to you and your community also. So
Shout out to the good work you do, man. I think you dive deep and really try to find things that people would have no clue about.
sure, man.
Because I find the whole sneaker culture thing, the whole Nike thing, we kind of get fed the same type of stuff,
Right.
and it's all kind of, a lot of it is surface level. So when you're diving so deep, it's just like people are like, "Wow, shit, I didn't know that." Like you showed me the
Zvezdoshka.
the shoe, and I'm like, "Ah, shit, I didn't even know like the story behind that." So, and I mean, I know a lot.
Sure.
So you always amazing me and blowing my mind with like these crazy little gems. So
Sure, man.
thank you, bruh.
But you know what? I gotta also just give thanks to like the local, the South African industry, especially cats like Lemkas. And I mean, the other time I saw you was at the launch of the Air Jordan. This is a 2018 Air Jordan 11.
Wasn't
Um,
it 19?
the it was 2018, man. I think I do think it was 2018. And I must tell you just a side story about how Lemkas operates, man. And just again, love to them.
Yes.
Um,
Shout out to Carlo,
uh,
Callan, Richard.
Mike Lemkas. I mean,
Yeah,
Richard is the cat
the OG.
that's in the house right now. But I started my work with Mike, long retired right now. But you know what? I had an agreement with Richard, and this is one of those faith agreements, man. You know, when we did the launch of the Air Jordan 11, I said, listen, I mean, obviously we work together, and I said part of my remuneration, I just said in 2018,
Couple of pair there, man.
I said I said to Richard, I'm doing this because one day Nike will again release the Air Jordan 1 in the Chicago colorway.
Yes.
And I just said, when that day eventually arrives,
Holla,
I would like a pair.
for sure.
It was nowhere on the roster.
Yeah.
It was not to be seen.
Yeah,
But I just
yeah.
said there is an inevitability. There's this one shoe that I desire, that I really want.
You're talking about the Chicago Jordan
The
1.
Chicago Jordan 1s. Okay.
So my first, sorry to cut you,
Yeah.
my first Jordan 1
Yeah.
I bought at Lemkas,
Which one was that?
the Chicago one.
The Chicago ones.
It was in 2011.
Sure.
I paid 1,199 rand.
Oh man.
It still had the jump in on the back. It wasn't like, but still got them. Dope shoe.
What was the one that they released? What do they call that pack? That's meant to feel like it's the original, the old one, man.
Yes, they had a massive launch at Lemkus. Yeah, I can't even get to it now.
Oh, no, that's the problem with too
But
many
it'll
shoes.
be up. I'll post it up.
When that shoe arrived, I mean, Richard, again, thanks. Mad love to you. Got the call. I was like, no, he fulfilled.
Okay.
He fulfilled the situation. So those are the Chicago's.
Yeah, no, it just shows you like what type of dude
These cats are, man.
Richard is.
So
Authentic people.
So long live those cats, man. Give it another 90 years for those cats. And I
For
think
sure.
Mike was generation 5. I speak under correction.
3.
Okay, generation 3.
So it was Mike's grandfather.
Okay.
So it's Richard's great grandfather.
You know? And may the legacy continue with you cats, man, because you know, real recognizes real, and just more power to you
Yeah,
cats.
started off stringing tennis rackets,
Mm,
in the early days. I've got family members, like my dad used to buy shoes there.
sure.
My dad used to take me to Lemkes as a kid,
Now they looked after
and
they looked after the
I
cats.
remember walking up the stairs,
Yes, yes.
OG shit, like
Didn't you post some is it Carl's that posted those old
Callan
photos?
Callan
Yeah,
posted.
that
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
really
yeah.
that took us back nicely. So no, those are proper cats. Um, and that kind of brings us to where we are today. And I think if I want to just think about 2026, you know, um, for myself at least, now that I have found myself in the Netherlands, I think my magnetic north, where I want to obviously end up, is to work at Nike's European headquarters because they are based in Hilversum, which is the city next to Amsterdam.
Yo, Nike,
You know,
Bernie's ready for round two.
preach. And I think especially where Nike are as a business right now. I mean, for the last quarter's results up plus 1%, but sales are down. You know, and this is where I can add value. You know what I mean? And I know they've only, as at 1st of December this year, they've released a lot of commercial sales roles. So I've got my name in a couple of roles, just hoping for the best. But let's just see what it looks like. So for 2026, that's one of the places that I'm kind of focusing my attention at to close that off.
Okay.
And then there's obviously the continued work with you. I mean, right now, as I told you, 2 episodes already in the chamber. Been going to be working on a lot more. And
There may be something else
and you and I have sketched
interesting.
without revealing too much. There is something that myself and Bubble Koppe have worked on. It is an ambitious idea. It is hugely ambitious. But let me tell you something: you don't go into a year planning half-baked goods. You know what I mean?
Amen, Bernie.
So this plan is aggressive. Nobody has thought of this idea before, and we just hope that it lands with people who are able to identify the vision because it is bold. Um, let's just see what happens, man. You know, we've got this vision. We've put
Enough said.
something.
Enough said.
Let's see what happens.
Watch the space. I think 2026 is going to be an interesting year for us.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So there's a story that I wanted to talk to you about because we spoke about this on a call. And I didn't actually know that you were involved in this. So back in the day at the Nike outlet in Stukland there, man. Kales River.
Access Park, not Access
Access City.
City. Access, which is the one in Kenilworth? It's Access
Park.
City. Where?
The Access Park is Kenilworth. I think that was Access City.
The Access City.
Something like that. But
Yeah.
it's the same,
Yeah.
thing.
Situation.
The Nike outlet there was there for many years. It closed a few years ago. They just obviously restructured the brand and everything else. But I remember going there and seeing a pair of shoes that for me was like super iconic, like in the 90s.
Yes.
Like a lot of people remember that shoe. Do you know that I still see people wear the original shoes, which I don't even know how that's possible. I've seen a grandpa walking in Canal Walk in this shoe.
No,
And
those,
and this is the Nike Air Slant Low.
Mm.
Okay? It's an incredible shoe. And I found out that Bernie was actually part of the buying of the
but
shoe into the country.
you know, there are certain shoes that have their moments. Like if you think back, Air Max 1, there's a time where Air Max 1 was a complete obsession. Everybody was on Air Max 1.
Yes.
Then you understand that there was a Dunk that had its time. Then, well, the consistent Air Force 1. But there are some shoes that are very regional that have that catch on, and the slant was that shoe.
Yes.
There was a moment of its obsession that people, it just didn't.
1996.
Late 90s is where it was so deep. Every slant, every color always worked.
You got the canvas,
There was the canvas, there was the full
leather.
That shoe, and if cats were wearing it, I mean, you brought one. I mean, do you?
So this is special. I've brought this along. It's what was this, 2008?
Yeah, that's roughly the timing. Yeah.
So it is, well, crumbled to pieces, but this is a special shoe because in the 90s, this was like a banger.
This was the must-have.
The retros were not that good. The quality was not great, but it was retro of that shoe.
Now let me. This shoe. Okay, it exists because I mean, yes, this was my baby. Let me speak into why how this
So
ended up.
so long story short, I bought this shoe at the outlet for probably 400 rand or whatever it was back in the day. And I had no idea that the buyer behind this specific shoe was Bernie.
Well, okay, let me maybe
Or the
contextualize.
team. Was it the team or you?
So how it works is this: when we work at Nike and I'm on the commercial side, so the salespeople represent all of the retailers in the country. Okay, at the time I looked after the cross trainer. Well, when I worked in Johannesburg, it was the cross trainer, Edgar's, and there was a third, which is just not coming to me right now. But when we were sitting around the table and they were showing the line to the salespeople, and everyone was saying that would be more appropriate for my account, that would work over there. When I saw the slant on screen, nobody had responded to it. And I'm like, okay. I said, I would want the slant because I knew, I mean,
It was
I knew its impact. And a lot of the people didn't necessarily come from a sporting goods background. They came from
Yeah.
other brands, you know?
90s kids know it was the slant, it was the barrage, and then you had the grid stars.
Grid stars. Oh my. Now, when you sit there and I saw the slant on the wall and everybody was quiet, I said, I'll take the slant and I want to take it exclusively because at the time I was going to offer it to both the cross trainer and Edgar's, like to my channels, right? And because at the time, the product had cooled down in the greater scheme of things. That's why
Nobody really was on it
my
because
peers around the
yeah,
table
yeah,
weren't
yeah, yeah,
aware
yeah,
of it.
yeah, yeah.
And like I knew the buyer at Edgar's, the cat at Cross Trainer, they would know what I'm talking about.
And now they're talking.
And now they're talking. And I put up my hand. I sold this in. It was the easiest sale I had ever made. And a couple of units ended up at outlet stores. You've now got one of them. This was
I'm crazy. I didn't want to throw it away. I just thought it's such a cool memory. I never had a pair back in the day in 96 when these things dropped, and that was my chance to like, man, and it was the black colorway. I remember there was a white and red
white and
colorway
red was the alternative.
as well. And
Yes.
they were there, they were
That was
cheap.
them.
I think it was like $3.99 or
They
something.
must have hella marked them down. I
And
can tell you. Oh,
no. And I mean, my size, I'm a 12, so you don't just find things all the time. But when I saw the white and red, and I went back a few days later, they were gone, and I was just like, oh
yeah.
man.
But if memory serves, this is the slant. And for those of you that didn't know, versus the 90s, which was actually the air slant. So this one comes minus airbag. So
Shit, I didn't know that.
there was air slant. So these are the little things that sort of impact.
So this is
this
a
is
strip,
the slant.
this is a stripped down.
This is a 1300 version, but the look and feel was still there.
Because that's why it hasn't got air on the.
This was sans air.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Because the original slant, it had the swoosh on the tongue, and there was
at
air.
the back, and also under the, I believe at the tongue, it also called air slant.
Makes sense.
But exactly, where's the air at?
That's
so
crazy.
I mean, that's why having a look at the shoe, you understand kind of the impact that you had.
But it was a low cost version, essentially.
But
still a good looking shoe.
Met the styling. Yeah.
And you brought in how many pairs?
Look, I must tell you, although I'm no longer with the company, I don't want to discuss the numbers which we brought in, but I can tell you, compared to the average amount of footwear that is being brought in, this was part of the higher end of volume, and it disappeared in seconds. This was This was a mass shoe. If you understand the distribution, Edgar's, but a cross trainer, that's not niche markets. So it did carry volume to it. And although I'm not working for them, I still want to just protect, the numbers
For sure.
that we looked after. Yeah.
Bernie's ready for round 2, Nike.
That's where it's at.
Thank you, my brother. That's an incredible story.
Nice one.
And it's actually something that's so cool that connects us before we even knew each other.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Shout out.
Shout out indeed.
A big thank you to you for coming through.
Sure, man.
I'd like to say a special shout out to Old Mountain Studios
Love.
for showing love. And yeah,
Much love to Old Mountain. Thank you. And let's just hope that we can cross paths soon, my man. The
you
rest is going to be on those calls.
you know what? Always fun, man. Always inspiring. Always good energy, man. Having those convos with you, and you episode number 1, bruh.
I appreciate that, man.
Numero uno.
That's how we start.
So if we're starting like this, you must know.
Do believe.
You know what I'm saying?
Strength to strength.
But-
Stiape Zulu.
All love, my bruh.
Nice one.
Thank you, my G.
Appreciate you, player.